Welcome to the Daily Dave Story channel. In this captivating tale, we follow the journey of Alexander Grayson, a successful crime novelist known for his gripping thrillers. However, his life takes an unexpected turn when his tenacious publicist, Claudia Bennett, pressures him to write a romance novella genre far outside his comfort zone. Reluctantly, Alexander retreats to a charming bed and breakfast in Mt. Martha, where he hopes to find inspiration. There, he meets Olivia, a mysterious, big, and talented romance writer with a hidden past. As their connection deepens, Alexander's life and work become intertwined with Olivia's personal struggles, leading to a thrilling blend of romance and crime. Join us as we dive into Crossroads of Shadows and Hearts, a story that explores the power of stepping out of one's comfort zone, the complexities of human relationships, and the unexpected twists that life has to offer. Stay tuned for this enthralling story and more on the Daily Dave Story channel. March 1st, 2013, Alexander. I loved your last crime novel. It's been a huge success. Thank you. Fire Games took quite a while to write. Alexander Grayson sat opposite his publicist, Claudia Bennett, a woman who was 20 years his senior. By interviewing other authors, he discovered she was in her early 40s. Somehow, she always managed to get what she wanted. In the 4 years since they met, she talked straight to the point. She saw things in black and white. A writer either liked or loathed her. Alexander sat on the fence. He respected Claudia for the businesswoman she portrayed, and he hated her at the same time. The only place they ever talked happened to be in her office after he'd finished a book. Since their first meeting, he'd seen her out at night only twice. The first time, it happened by accident, when his close friends insisted he go with them to a Melbourne nightclub. He saw Claudia sitting at a table amongst 5 ladies. She held a wine glass firmly in her hand. The second time they crossed paths, he was sitting in his BMW convertible, watching her kissing some bloke in a car at a supermarket car park. He felt surprised. She opened the passenger door to the Mercedes sports car and walked off into the night, seeing how the drizzle had changed to rain. What surprised him even more was that Claudia didn't look back at the car. He thought she would change her mind when the driver started the engine. Then he thought she'd wait for the car to draw level with her. Neither guess happened to be correct. The car completed a slow U-turn. At speed, the vehicle was driven down the road. It didn't take long for the engine noise to fade and the taillights to vanish. Alexander sat in the driver's seat of his car, thinking about the scene. A crime novel began to unravel in his mind. It was something he'd always been able to do quite easily. He finally made up his mind Claudia must have been ending an affair, though speculation always got him into trouble. Sitting further back in the office chair, Claudia's miniskirt shortened. She eyeballed Alexander through brown eyes. He saw her frown and flick a few strands of long blonde hair from her face. Alexander used an even pace to walk across the thick cream-colored carpet to the window. He stood watching the cars buzzing past in the Melbourne CBD. He loved the city for the rush when he needed to, He'd sit at his favorite cafe, observing people going through their daily lives while he waited for inspiration to start a new novel. He didn't have the courage to tell Claudia he'd slipped into the vortex of the dreaded writer's block. Alexander turned from the window to focus on Claudia. From the first day we met, you represented someone who never gets nervous about anything. Today you seem on edge over something. You have an insight many authors don't possess. Your ability to sense how people are feeling has been seen through me. What are you nervous about? Those who pay my wages have insisted I find an author to write a romance novel. You're the next in line. I don't write romance. I write crime. I've got lots of great ideas on how to bend the Kendall Chronicles. Fire Games was just the beginning. In a few short years, there's going to be a shelf full of crime novels. They'll be great. Alexander, you're probably not aware of the fact we receive at least 200 emails a day from your fans. So, what does that tell you? He interrupted. I know where this conversation is heading, hinted Claudia. It's plain and simple. Readers love my crime novels. Alexander, start writing a romance novel. I've booked you into a bed and breakfast hotel in MT Martha for the next 4 weeks. I've already explained the fact I can't write romance. Of course you can. You're a handsome bloke. Kiss a woman, then write a fantasy about her. Better still, go and meet her at a local dance. Chat the woman up for a few hours and go to a cheap hotel somewhere. You know what to do from there. What do you have in mind? Do I have to spell it out? I'm not the kind of bloke who jumps into bed with any woman. Alexander, go write me a romance novel. What if I refused? Claudia Bennett stood. Instead of pushing her miniskirt down, she left the material sitting high on her thighs. She strolled majestically across the room to the window. Pushing her breasts into Alexander's arm, she lifted her hands, placing them on either side of his head. He then felt her long fingers and red-polished nails being buried in his dark hair. He stood an even 6 feet tall. Claudia leveled her gaze on his eyes. She leaned closer. Her long blonde hair brushed his cheek. She swept her lips across his surface. The next morning, Alexander found himself driving along the coastal road to Mount Martha. The salty sea breeze and the stunning coastline provided a stark contrast to the bustling Melbourne CBD. He couldn't help but feel a sense of reluctance, mixed with curiosity about the place Claudia had chosen for him. Arriving at the bed and breakfast, he was greeted by the owner, a jovial, middle-aged woman named Margaret. Her warm smile and enthusiastic welcome made him feel slightly more at ease. Welcome to Seaview Retreat, Mr. Grayson. I'm sure you'll find the peace and inspiration you need here, Margaret said with a twinkle in her eye. The Cozy Inn was a 2-story, Victorian-style house with lush gardens and a view of the ocean that stretched out to the horizon. Alexander nodded politely, still skeptical about the whole romance novel idea. He settled into his charmingly decorated room, complete with antique furniture and floral wallpaper. Despite his initial resistance, he couldn't deny the beauty of the setting. As he unpacked his belongings, he noticed a notebook left on the bedside table. Curious, he opened it and found encouraging messages from previous guests, all praising the retreat's ability to ignite creativity and inspiration. A smile tugged at the corners of his lips. Maybe this place did hold some magic after all. Later that afternoon, Alexander decided to take a stroll through the local park to clear his mind. As he wandered along the winding paths, he noticed a woman sitting on a bench, engrossed in a book. She looked up as he approached, and their eyes met. "Hello," Alexander said, feeling a strange pull towards her. "Hi," she replied with a warm smile. "I'm Olivia." "Alexander," he introduced himself. Taking a seat beside her, they struck up a conversation, and Alexander learned that Olivia was also a writer, working on her own novel. She had a mysterious aura about her, and Alexander found himself intrigued by her. Olivia shared her love for the romance genre and the stories she had written under a pseudonym. Despite her success, she admitted to feeling creatively blocked, just like Alexander, as the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the park. Alexander felt a newfound sense of inspiration. Olivia's presence seemed to unlock something within him, and he couldn't wait to get back to his room and start writing. Over the next few days, Alexander and Olivia spent more time together, sharing stories and exchanging writing tips. They would meet at the local cafe in the mornings, where they would sip coffee and discuss their favorite books. In the afternoons, they would take long walks along the beach, the rhythmic sound of the waves providing a soothing backdrop to their conversations. Alexander began to see Olivia as a muse, her presence inspiring him to write the romance novel Claudia had demanded. He found himself pouring his emotions into the story, drawing from his growing feelings for Olivia. However, as Alexander delved deeper into the romance genre, he struggled with internal conflicts. His crime writer instincts kept creeping into his work, and he couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to Olivia than met the eye. One evening, as they walked along the beach, Olivia opened up about her past. She revealed that she had been living in hiding, trying to escape from a dangerous ex who had been stalking her for years. The revelation left Alexander stunned. He couldn't believe that the confident, serene woman he had come to know was carrying such a heavy burden. Alexander's protective instincts kicked in, and he vowed to help her. The story took a darker turn, blending elements of crime and romance. As Alexander used his crime-writing skills to devise a plan to keep Olivia safe, they began to work together, using their combined talents to outsmart Olivia's pursuer. With Alexander's help, Olivia confronted her past and took steps to ensure her safety. The climax of their story was filled with suspense and emotion as they navigated the challenges together. Their bond grew stronger, and Alexander realized that he had found not only a muse but a partner. Through this experience, Alexander discovered a newfound depth in his writing. He managed to create a unique blend of romance and crime, drawing on his own emotions and the bond he had formed with Olivia. When Alexander returned to Melbourne, he brought with him a completed manuscript. Claudia was impressed by the unexpected twist in the romance novel, And Alexander realized that stepping out of his comfort zone had made him a better writer. The story of Alexander and Olivia became a bestseller, and Alexander found himself eager to explore new genres and challenges in his future works. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel, like and share.